What's up, everybody? Thralls Metal here once again. I'm the Croc Neck.
I'm Jamie John.
And we have something a little bit different, or maybe not something super different, just something we haven't done in a while. A while ago, I got sent a care package from a label, and the fine people at the label known as Selfmaderecords asked me if I could go over some of their stuff. Now, I'd actually gone over one of the bands on this label in a collection update a while ago. It was sent to me with the frontman, and I believe the gentleman that runs this label, Eric Leviathan, which if you want a really interesting read on the archives, read his profile. I'm not going to say anything more than that. Just trust me, it's a read. Anyway, I went over Misanthrophik Torment's last album, Make Assassinations Great Again, which, believe me, it was a really interesting listen. Not a lot of subtlety in that one. Kind of captures the whole vibe of 2025. And, you know, kind of, I don't know, like a mix of like Ministry and Lamb of God, like a lot of groove metal, some death metal, some industrial metal. You know, I thought it was okay. It definitely had its issues. And, well, Eric sent us a whole package of stuff that this label is promoting. And this label is interesting in the sense that, I mean, they operate as a digital distro for Earache, or at least a lot of the bands they have are attached to Earache Records digital wing or whatever, which I don't know what goes on at Earache Records these days other than, you know, reissuing classics by like Napalm Death and Bull Thrower and then not paying them. But it's a very grassroots underground label based out of Kentucky. They have a really solid mission statement. Pretty much everything that you put into the label, they want to put back into your band, you know, get you promoted. And I think this is probably kind of like part of it, like getting a lot of like material out to YouTube channels like us for us to go over. And all right, full disclosure, we didn't like all of it. And, you know, you're going to get to that. But here's the thing. I'm still going to recommend checking it all out because it's just our taste. Our tastes don't necessarily reflect yours. Everyone has a different sort of wheelhouse in terms of what they like in metal. And believe me, this kind of goes all over the place.
It does. It goes to a lot of places that I haven't been in probably 20 years, maybe 25 years. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but we're going to get into that. Starts off with the band Honey Bunches of Death. Yes, you heard me right. Honey Bunches of Death. In fact, it is, according to the Metal Archives, who figured that we had no idea and would have never guessed, it's a play off the cereal.
Imagine that.
Imagine that.
We were born yesterday, though, so...
And in fact, the back of the record is nutritional facts. It's the track listing, but it's nutritional facts.
The percentages are, well, not off, but interesting.
And I like the track God is Gonna Kill Us All, because next to these nutritional facts are the percentage of lifetime pleasure for these songs. And God is Gonna Kill Us All is indeed 666%.
Yes!
Now, we didn't listen to that track. In fact, we listened to what we could find on YouTube, which I think is still a decent summation of what these bands were.
I mean, they had band camps. Some of them were on Spotify. We decided to kind of like pick and choose around like 3 or 4 tracks, get a good baseline of what their sound was. Mm-hmm. And this one, I think we listened to a little bit more than 3 or 4 tracks because the band's kind of silly. I mean, humor was listed in their profile.
Yep. And Honey Bunches of Death, I mean, you figure with a band name like that, it's going to be probably a little bit humorous. From Denver, Colorado, it's marked as both groove and crossover thrash. Now, I didn't hear a whole lot of thrash going on here, but what I definitely did hear is groove, very akin to bands like Pantera, Lamb of God, Black Label Society, Metallica, COC. It wasn't bad. The production's a little bit raw. It had a decent guitar tone.
It was very muddy. Like, that was the big issue there.
And another thing is that we couldn't necessarily hear the vocals. Like, you can definitely hear the guy sing, but I'm guessing that there's probably jokes mixed in there somewhere, because there has to be, right?
Yeah, that was, you know, like a kind of a big slight against the album because, I mean, you know, if you're a humor-based band, you need to be able to hear the jokes.
Right.
And, you know, I mean, stylistically, you know, another thing that kind of reminded me of was Ugly Kid Joe, albeit, you know, like heavier. There's pictures of the band on their Bandcamp, and this album, this band in general, I would say is just one you experience live. Like, I don't think you could properly capture what they do on a CD because I imagine their live set comes with, well, even more irreverence, probably some drink specials, yeah, maybe a couple of fights and an 80s cover.
Like, it's a party band. Like, I could easily see these guys playing a show with Psycho Stick.
Oh, dude, yeah. But even with all the tracks we picked, I feel like the sound of the band, like, it's just kind of a little too uniform on the groove side. Like, not terrible, but, you tease me with words like thrash metal and crossover. And, I instantly think, like, Iron Reagan and DRI. I want some shit like that. But, not a bad album. So the next one that was in the batch was a band called I Only Exist as Frequency and their album I'm Nothing. And I believe this is a one-man project from Newcastle, Australia, which I'm not sure which area of Australia that is in. But this is another one that I, knew nothing of. I mean, that's kind of the story with almost all of these. But this one, honestly, it kind of harked back again a little bit further in terms of my listening. This reminded me a lot of stuff that I got into in my 20s. The whole mellow death explosion in the mid-2000s, metalcore. There's like some elements that remind me of like Fear Factory, Strapping Young Lad. It has, like lots of heavy syncopated riffs, like a lot of stuttered kick drum action. Ambience and samples and the vocals have like a lot of twisted filters on them. This one, I think out of the entire batch here had like the darkest sound.
Yep.
Like this sounded a lot like stuff that, I still jam. Like actually it reminded me of a band, By Night, which, I just started jamming again because I was like, man, I haven't jammed you guys in a while. I was like, dude, these guys are good.
Yep, I just heard it the other day, and I was like, yeah, it's all right. This band, to be honest with you, wasn't bad. Like, I would be curious to dig into a little bit more of it. Like, we said we only gave these albums 3 or 4 songs a piece to listen to, but out of everything that we heard, I liked this one.
Yeah, a lot of good, like, mellow death chugs. Honestly, another band that kind of reminded me of was Cybreed. Yeah.
Holy shit.
I know. It's weird because I think you said that the last time I brought up Cybreed. Like, oh my God, you know that band too. No, but this one was pretty solid. I would actually recommend this one, especially, again, if you're a fan of any of the bands that I mentioned there.
Next up, we have The D.O.O.D. And it's not regular dude.
It's not the one that abides.
The Distinguished Order of Disobedience with the album Dissonance. This is groove metal / metalcore out of Sarasota, Florida.
I struggle calling it metalcore. I feel groove metal is way more accurate. It's... Oh, God. All right, we listened to, 3 songs? Minus the first one, which was a little bit more ballad-y. They all kind of sounded the same. Like, this is... Oh, man. It's kind of butt rock. It kind of is. It's still gravelly. It's still gritty, but, like, man... Like it feels like kind of like a second tier like Pantera or like Soil or
Propane.
Actually, yeah, big Propane vibes on it.
Yep.
Like it's got like a little bit of like kind of groovy hardcore, but again, like I don't think it goes much further past like Propane. Like there wasn't anything I heard that reminded me of like like Hatebreed or Earth Crisis.
And to be honest, it's really the most basic parts of each of those bands. Like there's really not a lot to it. I guess I'll give him some credit in the fact that there is some melody to it at times. It's catchy in the choruses, but beyond that, there's really not a whole lot going on.
Dude's got an interesting voice. I'll give him that. Like it's gravelly. He can do a really cool like gruff vibrato. But like the material behind it, like there's just I don't know. Like it feels like just like kind of a collection of just like. Yeah, okay riffs that can drive a song, kind of the same 4/4 time groove. And seeing one of the videos with their like live show presence, like sadly, their live presence kind of exudes the same sort of energy as their music. Like it feels just like it's kind of there. Like they look like they were kind of like, man, I can't wait to get home and just kick back and put on some slippers and watch TV and not be here in this bar full of fucking chuckleheads.
That's kind of in a nutshell what it reminds me of, really. Like you ever go out to a bar and there's a cover band there and like they do okay and you're like, well, that wasn't terrible.
It wasn't like absolutely terrible, but like a band that almost made it to the second stage of Ozfest, like circa 1998 through like 2000. But again, that's just us. If you really like, again, like God, I would say like groove metal circa like late 90s, early 2000s. Maybe a touch of new metal or like bands that were kind of new metal adjacent, like again, Soil, Drowning Pool, stuff like that. Check them out. Give them a whirl. Next up, another band that I have never heard of, December Screams Embers, and their album Spooky Noodle. Don't know what that is. Don't want to know what that is. Maybe it's like a ghost snake or something like that. I really hope it's something that dumb.
It's a dick.
So, I mean, looking at the cover of this, I really wasn't sure. I kind of thought, like, all right, maybe this is like doom metal or something like that. And looking it up, oh man, I got a hell of a description. It's kind of a genreless thing or a mishmash of genres. The three bands that they said that they were a blend of were Whitechapel, which I was like, hey, cool, Whitechapel. I like Whitechapel. That's fucking fine. The next one was My Chemical Romance. Like, hey, maybe, like, you know, they're all right, sure, whatever. And then the last one was Ice Nine Kills. Like, all right, I'm out. No, I'm sorry, that band sucks. I fucking hate that band so much. And they made good on their word, at least sounding like Ice Nine Kills. This is very theatrical, over the top. It's metalcore. It's touches of melodeath. It's all right. The heavier bands that would show up at Warped Tour. Like, this is the one that'd be like the token heavy band. Like, okay, yeah, they have like some melodeath riffs. They have some deathcore breakdowns. But, you know, they look more the part of Pierce the Veil, Alicena, whatever. I mean, just take your fucking pick of any of those fucking bands.
It's MySpace metal.
It is, 100%. Like, this sounds like the kind of stuff that was just all over fucking MySpace. You could pick this up on, like, drive-through records, maybe. I don't know, it might be a little too heavy for that. This one was not my style, and I checked out multiple tracks, and I was put off by everything. I didn't like the production. The breakdowns, I mean, yeah, they're heavy, but they feel very stock. Same thing with, like, a lot of the melodeath riffs. Like, all of a sudden they break into, like, some tremolo harmonies, and they were fine. But, again, they just felt very ordinary. And then the vocals, no.
No. The vocals are like a less screechy Spencer Sotelo.
Yeah, and, I mean, he can hit the notes cleanly, to his credit. This one, I don't know, it kind of seems like it struggled with some harmonies here and there. And, dude, like, some of the song titles are very cringy. And I just instantly, I was like, I don't know about this one.
And the intro to this album is spoken word, spoken from the perspective of a piece of pasta.
Yeah, that sounds like, you know, Randy Blythe auditioning for some, like, play, you know, around Halloween. I don't know, man. Like, this was just, I don't know. It really didn't do anything for me. But if you're a big fan of any of the bands that they compared themselves to, plus, again, like, Ari, if you were, like, big in that whole MySpace, metalcore, that whole thing going on back then, and you liked the weirder bands that kind of went over the top, God, man, I'm trying to think of some that were a little weird. Like, I wouldn't say, like, Fall of Troy, because I don't think these guys could play all the crazy shit that band played.
Yeah.
But, you know, it kind of has that spazzy quality. I don't know. It's just not for me, but still recommend checking it out. And again, I'm going to link as much music as possible down in the description for you guys to check out.
Next up, we have a band that, I'm going to be honest, there's a lot of potential here. And we'll get into that. The band is Locked Down with the album Step Over the Bodies. This is simply just labeled as hardcore, New York style hardcore for that matter. Quite the roster that they've shared the stage with over the years. Biohazard, Vision and Disorder, stuff like that. A couple members in the band were actually in the band Bile, and I'm quite familiar with that band. Also, this record was produced by Billy and Danny from Biohazard, so right then and there, this was even before we got into the album, right then and there I was like, okay.
Yeah, with the write-up they gave, it was like, oh, if you suck, I am gonna fucking be mad, because I love New York hardcore. You know, I mean, again, they brought up, like, every fucking band. They're like, oh, man, you like fucking Sick of It All? You like Madball? Like, I fucking
Agnostic
love
Front,
them.
right?
Yeah, let's do this.
Yeah, let's go for it.
And honestly, it ain't bad.
No.
Like, you know, it's not on the level of all those bands, and I do have some issues with the production. Like, it's a little raw, and it's not like the good kind of raw. It just feels muddier. But song-wise, like, this just has straight-up hardcore fucking grooves to it. Big riffs, hardcore, snarled vocals.
Yep, very energetic.
Yeah.
Yep.
This was the shot in the arm I kind of needed after the MySpace disaster that I listened to before that. Sorry. Yeah, no, like, I like straight up old school hardcore. It's got this just, you know, kind of beefy, in your face sort of energy. Very stripped down, like there's like no frills whatsoever on it. But it can kind of carry its own weight. I mean, if you're a fan of God, again, like any of the bands we brought up, even like Hatebreed and Sworn Enemy and shit like that. Honestly, check this one out. Like that, this is one that I would actually check out another one by for damn sure. And you know, the only thing I think it really needs improvement on is just like a little bit tighter production. Everything else, you got the riffs, you got the energy, you got the fucking New York hardcore attitude. Yeah, let's do it. Let's go. Let's do another.
Yep.
Next up, another band that is outside of the U.S. And I want to say I might have heard of these guys just because, well, I had heard of Eric's main band, and you know, he was kind of mentioned in it just because he was on the same label. Devilz by Definition, and their album Devil's Night, and that's Knight in Shining Armor, not Dark Knight, and that's Devilz with a Z because it's Devilz with a Z. That's why. Thrash/groove metal from Windsor, Ontario. This is big on syncopated grooves, heavy riffs. Actually, like some solid thrashy fucking moments. This one ended up being kind of a favorite here, and this one I would say also has like the best production out of the bunch.
Best production, and really, to be honest with you, some pretty solid musicianship. I mean, they're not reinventing the wheel here by any means, but if you like stuff like Machine Head and Chimera, this is right in that vein, 100%.
Yeah, there's a lot of like heavier thrash on here. Like, I mean, there's still like Exodus, Testament, like that sort of stuff. Like, it's just got good, punchy, chuggy riffs. It sounds more like 90s thrash than, say, you know, like 80s stuff. I mean, you know, it's got a good overall sound. Going over the tracks, there's some tracks in here that are much older than this album. I think this album came out in 2023. Like, this was a reissue on their label. But I don't know if this is a compilation necessarily of, like, all their stuff, because I want to say, I think it was the song Dehumanizer. That one was, like,
11 years ago.
Yeah, 11 or 9 years ago. It was one of those. It was a while ago. But yeah, I dug this one. The vocals in here are pretty interesting too. Occasionally, dude sounds almost a little bit like Troy Sanders. Like he kind of does that weird bellow that he does.
He's definitely got the facial expressions.
Yeah, oh, he's got it down. One of their music videos, the one where the priest goes nuts and kills people and the devil saves everyone. I don't know. I was trying to follow what's going on, and then I just gave up.
The music video wasn't bad.
It wasn't bad. It wasn't all on denim and flannel. I didn't see a single hockey jersey either. Treated the entire crew to poutine afterwards too, I'm sure.
Sounds good, dude. Poutine's fucking good. You guys got it on lock there, Canada.
But yeah, dug this one. I mean, this one sounded tighter and a little bit more like professional, like in terms of like production-wise too. So yeah, I mean, if you're a big fan of any of the bands we brought up there, check this one out. This was one of the good ones for sure.
Next up, we have 13 Pagan Holiday 13 with the album The Church of the Graveyard Religion. Now, right then and there, just by the title alone, I mean, one could probably think that this is probably going to be, I don't know, pagan black metal maybe a little gothic. And we listened to it. And I'm just going to be honest, because that's what we do here on this channel, and I mean nobody any harm, but I'm not a fan. This is gothic butt rock. It sounds like Ministry, Nail Bomb, Typo Negative, and on to others, if no one in any of those bands tried whatsoever.
Yeah, no, that's pretty fair. I mean, I got the Unto Others vibe rather quickly, but again, it's lethargic. Like, it's bare minimum gothic metal. And, dude, it's just kind of dull riffs, dull production. And the vocals aren't growling, which the growls are, they're okay.
The growls are okay.
They're okay. They're doing this, like, oh my God. It's almost like a Marilyn Manson impersonation, except you remember those shows where Marilyn Manson was drunk on stage, falling all over the place, trying to fight people? And just, my sweet dreams are made of, it's that version of Marilyn Manson. Dude, these vocals get so off-key, and then you get off-key harmonies, which, oh my God, man, it's rough to listen to. It really is.
The most sour notes ever. Like, here's my guess. My guess is that during the vocal recordings for this album, they cut off the music in this guy's ears, and no one knew it except for this guy, right? And he kept trying to flag down people to tell him that he can't hear the music, and they were like, no man, just go for it, you're doing a great job. And so he sang, because none of it matches the music.
This is like up there with the Danzig covers albums. Like, not just the Elvis one, which was not good, but the one before it, which was possibly even more not good. Like, song-wise, like, you know, they're not that interesting in terms of the music itself, too. Like, if the music was actually doing something, like, a little bit flashy, with some, like, hooky melodies, you know, maybe, you know, you could kind of capture some of that, like, 80s rocker, goth rock energy and, you know, power through the bad vocals, but there's not even that on there. Like, this out of the bunch was the worst. Like, you know, I really wish I had nicer things to say, but I'm still gonna say, even though I kind of just shit all over it, give it a try.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's gonna be linked down below. You can do it, and you know, if you like it, hey, more power to you. Spread the word. Fucking get all your friends into 13 Pagan Holiday 13, and when they ask why there's 2 13s, you say, listen, fuck off with your questions, all right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Go ask the fucking band. Write them a goddamn email, all right? Get off my back. Listen to the album. Or better yet, listen to the next one that I have to go over here, which is State of Mind and their album Sanity of Madness, which doesn't make a tremendous amount of sense, but...
Doesn't have to.
Doesn't have to. This is a Texas heavy metal hard rock act, and all right, I like what they do because I like classic heavy metal, like its riffs, its harmonies, you know, what might have been big soaring vocals maybe 30 or 40 years ago. The first thing I noticed when I checked out their Bandcamp was the picture of the band. These are older gentlemen.
Yes.
And heavy metal in particular, it's kind of hard to, like, maintain that sort of energy throughout your entire career. Like, there's some bands that are, like, freaks of nature at it.
Yeah.
Fucking Saxon.
Yeah.
Judas Priest.
Yeah.
I might say Iron Maiden, but I haven't liked a lot of recent Iron Maiden.
Fair.
But still, you know, they still deliver on the, you know, like, kind of that old school heavy metal vibe. This is something I wish I caught, like, years ago. If, like, they had other albums from, like, again, like the 1980s. You know, something like that where they were, like, kind of younger and more vibrant. I probably would have got into this more because, I mean, musically, I think this band's got some chops. Good riffs, good lead work on here. Production's not too bad. It's got a good organic sound. Drum work's all right. There's a couple of moments where he was, like, you know, a little bit off on a fill. Yeah. And the vocals, I would say he was really good at one point because they sound very weathered on here.
Yes. Yep. And that was the only real problem I had with the vocals. I know he's got it in him because you can tell. You can tell from the not only the delivery, but the pronunciation of things, even the vibrato in his voice. Like, you can tell that it was there at one point, but that one point was a while ago, and now is not that time.
Yeah, the top range has definitely been cut off in terms of, like, controlling the vibrato. I mean, he's got most of it. Again, you know, it's tough being, like, an old school heavy metal singer. Dude. And, you know, the ones that keep it going and still sound pretty good, generally they've gone through, like, a lot of vocal training. They fucking cut out a lot of bullshit in their lives. And also, the band's really, like, down-tuned to kind of, like, help out with that. It's like, hey, you won't have to hit those high points that much. And that's how you get guys like Joey Belladonna. Like, dude can still fucking sing his ass off, but he knows his range has changed.
Yep.
That's smart. This one, I feel like guys still trying to reach for those soaring heights and, you know, those yesteryears, and I just don't think it's quite there. But musically, this wasn't too bad. Like, just a kind of a fun throwback. You know, I mean, again, if you're, like, a big fan of, God, I would say there's, like, a little bit of Middle of the Road in there, which I know fans of that band are absolutely nuts. I love that band's music. It's another band that I just can't get into the vocals. Bands like Haunt, and again, like, classic stuff, again, like Saxon and Judas Priest. A little bit of that here. But yeah, check it out. It's pretty good. And this last one, you know, was one that, again, I was given. This was Misanthrophik Torment's Make Assassinations Great Again. Hell of a cover on here. I think they kind of shrunk it down for this version. But I'm probably just going to throw this one in a giveaway since I already went over this one. But this is Eric's band. And again, groove metal, industrial metal. I don't know. It's got a lot of... a lot of stuff in here that's a good subject matter, good fun dinner table subject matter, especially if you like to talk about politics and religion at your dinner table. As for, like, the label itself, though, I mean, all right, one thing I will kind of harp on them a bit about, I don't like the label, the record label on the front of the cover. Like, because it's on almost all of these, like, up in the corner. They're in various places, but on the front cover, like, I just don't want to see, like, the record label. Just, save it for the back, which it's back there, too. And, I mean, again, it's a small grassroots label. You're looking to fill up your roster with stuff. We also noticed, like, at least in the archives, in terms of what they have, wasn't, like, complete on there, unless some of this is, like, distro stuff, which, I mean, small labels do work as distros. I don't know. I still need to look more into the label itself, but I like the mission statement. I like what you guys are about.
Yeah.
And while I'm, like, critical of music because, well, I mean, we're music critics. It's kind of what we do. There's honestly, like, some promise with a lot of these bands. And I'll link the label down below, too.
Yeah, I will agree with the mission statement of the label 100%. Having a label that actually wants to pump what you put into it back into your pockets or into your band, or making sure you're getting out there, like, that's really cool. I, of course, have never been signed to a label, so I don't really know how most of that shit works, but I can probably say that a lot of labels probably aren't giving this kind of attention or promotion to their bands either, at least not being so underground and right off the bat. So, like, that's really cool. While most of this music wasn't for me, it doesn't matter. Once again, this is just our opinion. Who gives a fuck what we think? This is all about what you guys think. So I would encourage you guys to listen to all of this music. Form your own opinions, man. We're just two dudes that listen to an inordinate amount of music all the time and are giving pretty much what we have based on our opinions. But overall, man, it was a cool concept. We like, obviously, when people send us shit, especially a bunch of CDs coming from labels. It's always nice to check out shit we've never heard before.
Yeah,
and I
appreciate that, man. Yep. Thank you.
And I can guarantee I've never heard any of this before until today, so thank you.
So, if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you were new to the channel, subscribe, because we do stuff like this all the time. We also have memberships. They're only 99 cents, and our lone perk is doing a members-only live stream, which we may or may not have done one by now, or we're working up to it, or we're working up to the next one. I don't know when this is going to come out.
Neither.
Who knows? Either way, though, membership's the main way to support the channel. If you'd like to help us out there, there's a join button down there that you could punch and fucking kick and, I don't know, spit on. You can do whatever the hell you want to it. I won't tell.
It's your monitor, it's your computer. If you want to spit on it, go for it. We don't mind at all.
Yeah, your monitor will accept all bodily fluids, I'm sure.
But even if you don't do that, it's totally cool. We do tons of non-members only stuff, non-members only live streams, which are just as dumb as the members only live streams. We do album reviews, discography rankings, multiple discussion forums, Nick's never-ending collection updates, all metal all the time. So we do it for you guys, because god damn it, we are thankful for you. Thank you for being a part of this channel. Thank you for continuing to come here and comment and watch things and share them and do all the wild and wacky things you guys do to help keep this channel alive. We grossly appreciate it. The fact that we're as popular as we are makes no sense to us at all, because we're us.
Yeah.
But we appreciate you. Thank you.
Yeah, you guys absolutely roll. Tons of content coming your way. So one more big thank you, because you guys are awesome, and we will catch you later.